Welcome you all to the Science YouTube channel. We hope to enhance your science knowledge with a series of lessons and paper discussions through this channel. Please subscribe our channel and join with us. Today we are going to discuss about physics-based structured essay type questions and essay type questions in GCE O-Level examination in 2019. We have to face fourth question in structured essay paper, always from physics. Here, the figure shows an incomplete circuit diagram of a setup arranged by those students. The first question asks, by what name is the way the dry cells are connected to the circuit known? Let's see. First of all, we have to identify the way of connecting components in an electrical circuit. Here, there are two ways of connecting components in electrical circuits. In series circuit, all components are connected end to end and single path for current flow. But in parallel connection, all components are connected across each other. There are two electrical common points as positive terminal and for the negative terminal. Then the answer is the dry cells are connected in series connection. Next part, Roman number 2 asks about the standard symbol of equipment that should be connected between terminal X and Y. Here we have to connect it ammeter. This is the way of connecting ammeter in series connection. Look at the third part of the question. Why is a rheostat connected to the circuit? The rheostat is a type of variable resistor. The rheostat used to vary the current and the potential difference across the nichrome coil. The next one is state a condition that would result if the switch is kept closed for a long time after completing the circuit correctly. Then you can see here is the Ohm's law experiment and circuit diagram. The coil gets heated and increase its temperature. It means increase in the resistance of nichrome coil. Using the readings obtained by this experiment, we can build up the graph voltage against the current flow. You can see it in the fifth part of your question paper. We can obtain the physical quantity by the gradient of this graph as resistance. This relationship was first discovered by German scientist Georg Simon Ohm. We know that law as Ohm's law. Can you remind the Ohm's law? When the temperature of a conductor remains constant, the current passing through the conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across it. It means I, or the current flow, directly proportional to the voltage. In part B, there is an activity done by a group of students to find the center of gravity of metal statue. The first part asks, what are the forces acting with regard to the equilibrium of the statue? Here is an example for the equilibrium under three parallel forces. No? Then the answer is, there are three forces: the weight of the statue, perpendicular reaction at A as R, and the perpendicular reaction at B is S. Second part, what is the reaction R through the point A and the reaction S through the point B of the statue? The reading in balance X was 250 Newton. R means the perpendicular reaction of X. Then they are coplanar and collinear forces act in opposite direction. So magnitude must be equal. Then the answer is 250 Newton at R and the 150 Newton for S. Third part, what is the weight of this statue? By adding those two forces, we can get the answer 150 Newton and 250 Newton. The answer is 400 Newton. Fourth part, the distance from A to the center of gravity of the statue G is D. Write the moment of the weight of the statue around point A in terms of D. Let's see it. In grade 10, you learnt about the moment. The moment of a force is given by the product between the force and the perpendicular distance to the line of action from the selected axis. So, momentum equals force into perpendicular distance. Here the force is weight, W. Then the moment equals W into D. The value W given 400 Newton into D. Then the answer is, the moment of the force is 400 Newton into D. The fifth part asks, what is the moment of the reaction S around point A? In the same way in previous question, we can add the equation by finding the moment. The moment equals force into perpendicular distance. Force given 150 Newton and the distance mentioned on the diagram 2 meters. Then 150 Newton into 2 meters, the answer is 300 Newton meters. The last part of this question asks the anticlockwise moment of S around point A is equal to the clockwise moment of weight W around point A. Find the value of D. In fourth part, we discovered the moment of weight around A is 400 Newton into D. We don't know the value of D, and the data given as that moment equals to anticlockwise moment of S around A. We found it in fifth part. Now 300 Newton meters. Now you have to equal these two parts. 400 Newton into D equals to 300 Newton meters. By dividing both sides from 400 Newton, we can get the answer for D as 0.75 meters. Now we are moving to essay type question. We met first physics question in question number 7, part A. Here the question asks, the below illustrate how a light ray come in parallel to the principal axis of a glass convex lens. Roman number 1 asks about name point C and D. Let's identify point C and D. This diagram illustrates these points well. Here, the light rays enters the lens along the principal axis will leave the lens without bending. The principal axis is perpendicular to the surface. The midpoint between the two surfaces of the lens is called optic center of the lens. Then the C is optic center of lens. You can't answer it as a pole. Pole is the center point of a curved mirrors, not in lens. You know, light rays come in parallel to principal axis, refracted and passing through the focal point. Then the D is the focal point. The length in between focal point or the focus and center point, we called it as focal length. It's symbolized here using capital F. In second part, you have to copy these two figures and complete the path of light ray travels. Figure 2 shows that light rays passing through the optic center. So it passed through the lens straight through the optic center. Figure 3 shows a light ray passing through the focal point on one side of the lens and it travels parallel to the principal axis after refracting by lens. The third part of this question asks, consider the image form of an object placed between the points A and B in the principal axis of the lens. State two characteristics of that image. You can see the screen for that question to get answers. Here, look at it. Between A and B means object at between focal point and the ties of the focal length. In between F1 and F2, the object there. Then image is formed on the opposite side of the lens at a distance greater than ties of focal length. Then characteristic of the image is here inverted image, magnified image and real image. Those are the characteristics. In the fourth part asks the way of finding focal length of a convex lens approximately. You can obtain clear image of a distant object on a wall in laboratory, we can get the clear image of distant tree and measure the distance between wall and lens. This is the way of finding the focal length of convex lens approximately. Now let's move into part B. A domestically used filament electrical lamp is marked 240 volt 60 watt, while an LED electric lamp lighting with equal brightness to its mark 240 volts and 10 watt. Problem number 1. Calculating joules, the amount of electrical energy consumed if the filament electric lamp was switched on for 10 hours. Electrical energy consumed by an electric device over a time period is given by energy consumption is equal to voltage into time into the current flow. Let's see it by using this calculation. I told you electrical energy consumption E equals to VIT. V means the voltage, I current flow, and time T. For the instead of V and I, we can use P or power. Power equals to production of voltage and the current flow. Here the power given in watts. Then we can substitute 60 watt into 10 hours. But here, pay attention here, we have to use the time in seconds. Then we have to convert hours into seconds. That's why I multiplied here 10 hours in 60 and 60. It means 10 hours into 3600 for converting hours into seconds. Then the answer, you can get the answer as here in joules. Second part, how much is the electrical energy in joules consumed if the LED lamp was switched on same hours, 10 hours. The same way, electrical consumption E equals to P into T. P means 10 watts. Time, you have to substitute the values in seconds. Then you have to multiply 10 hours into 60 and 60. 3600. Then the answer is given in joule as here. Third part, from the above calculations, clearly you can see there are two definite answers, different answers. Then from the above calculation, which one is more advantageous for domestic use? The LED consume less electrical energy. Then the LED equipments, LED bulb here, more advantageous for domestic use. The next part, fourth part, the LED lamp mentioned above was lighted for 30 days, 10 hours each. Find the kilowatt hours, the amount of electrical energy supplied to the lamp during this period. We can easily get the answer by dividing 10 watts multiplied by 10 hours into 3600 multiplied by 30 days. Then we can divide that value by 3.6 into 10 to the power of 6. Why? Because 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 into 10 to the power of 6. By dividing these two values, you can get the answers as 3 kilowatt hours. The last part asks about the electrical energy supplied to a filament electric lamp. 40% is lost as heat. In that case, what is the efficiency of the lamp? If the 40% lost as heat, then the efficiency is, easily you can get the answer, 60%. In part B of question number 8, here you can see two identical vessels and there are 2 kilograms of water in one vessel and other one filled with 2 kilograms of liquid X. The first part asks, calculate how much will be the increase in the temperature of water contained in vessel A, it means in water vessel, when supplied with the above amount of heat. The question given data that they supplied 8400 joules of heat. Then you can get the answer by using this equation. As I mentioned, they supplied 8400 joules of heat. You can get the answer using this equation. Remember, in the lesson of heat, Q equals mc theta. Here, Q means the quantity of heat, m mass, C specific heat capacity. What do you mean by specific heat capacity? The amount of heat required to increase the temperature of a unit mass, the specific word is unit, it differs from heat capacity. In specific heat capacity, you have to mention unit mass. Again, the specific heat capacity means amount of heat required to increase the temperature of a unit mass of the object by one temperature unit. And the theta is temperature difference. Temperature difference. Then we can add data. 8400 joules equal to mass 2 kg. Specific heat capacity of water is 4200 joules kilograms per degrees of Celsius multiplied by theta. Here we have to find the value for theta. Then you can get the answer by dividing both sides. 8400 joules. Theta is equal to 1 degrees of Celsius. The next part asks, how much will be the increase in the temperature of liquid X contained in vessel B when supplied with the above amount of heat? Above amount of heat means same amount of heat, 8400 joules. Here the same way in part 1 we can add that equation as Q equals mc theta. Q 8400 joules, here m 2 kilogram and C 2100 joules per kilograms per degrees of Celsius and theta. We have to find theta by dividing both sides 8400 joules. You can get answer easily as in this part 1. The theta is equal to 2 degrees of Celsius. The third part asks about the comparison. It asks which of the above liquid is more suitable to be used as a cooling agent. Give reasons for your answer. The answer is water. The reason is rise in temperature is smaller in water when the same amount of heat is supplied. You can observe the above two calculation. You can get easily the answer. In water, the temperature different or rise by 1 degrees of Celsius. But in liquid X, when supplied same amount of heat, the temperature increase in 2 degrees of Celsius. Then the answer is water. Rise in temperature is smaller in water. Look at the fourth part. A thermometer was introduced into a vessel A, in water vessel, and observe the following incidents. Part A asks, by what name is that constant temperature known? When the vessel was heated continuously, the thermometer reading stopped rising further after water reached at a certain temperature. By what name is that constant temperature known? The temperature at which a liquid start to boil is known as boiling point. In water, the boiling point is 100 degrees of Celsius. Part B, at that instance, what can be observed in the water? When the water reaches 100 degrees of Celsius, the water starts to bubble in air. The answer is bubbling air. Part C, what is the change of the state occurring at the instance? When the water reaches at boiling point, the liquid water turns into vapor or the liquid becomes gaseous state. In part D, by what name is the heat absorbed at that instance known? The heat absorbed by the system without change in its temperature, here do not change its temperature, it keeps constant temperature as 100 degrees of Celsius. Then we know that heat as latent heat. The answer is latent heat, and you can use as latent heat of vaporization. Both are correct. Last part, state the reason why the temperature of the liquid stopped rising through the heat was applied continuously. The heat is absorbed to break intermolecular bonds in water. That is the reason the temperature of liquid stopped rising through the heat was applied continuously. Thanks for watching and be with us. We hope to be back with our next video on physics based MCQ discussion in 2019 O-level examination.